Podcasting from her kitchen table, it's Jacqueline J. Here with another episode of Cast Iron Skillet Chronicles, where we focus on faith, family, fun, and finance for my fierce, fly, and fabulous sisters over 40. Come on in the kitchen. Coffee's brewing. Pull up a chair, and girl, let's talk. Now, here is your host for Cast Iron Skillet Chronicles, Jacqueline J.
Hey, Dr. Jackman, come on in. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I am well, thanks. Please forgive the boxes. Let me move that one right out of the chair. You can put it right on the floor. Have a seat. Can I get you some water or coffee or anything? Or lemonade even?
Ooh, lemonade.
All right.
Lemonade.
All right. So, all right. Well, I go get that. Tammy recommended you. I was telling her what I was trying to do. Had been talking to some sister friends, and, you know, as we women get to be of a certain age, we're just, you know, ripping and running. We kind of feel like we're in the sandwich generation, if you will. We may be raising children, maybe caring for aging parents. And so I was reaching out to her because I was saying, you know, do you know of any, you know, mental health professionals that can kind of help us navigate through some of the stuff that we're going through? And she recommended you. So thank you so much for agreeing to hang out for a minute.
It is my pleasure. I welcome any and every opportunity to speak to communities and people about mental health. It is such a key aspect of our functioning and of our being, and it's something that we've neglected for far too long. So thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. So can you tell us a little bit about the populations that you work with, kind of what you do, how you do, what you do?
For sure, yes. So Charmain Jackman again. I'm a licensed psychologist in Massachusetts, and I just had a passion or calling for addressing the mental health needs of people. I was first inspired to work with teenagers, I think, because of my own experience as a child and wanting someone to talk to about things. My goal was to be an adult that, you know, adolescents could trust. After going to school, that's maintained my focus, but I've also expanded to working with primarily women and adolescent girls of color around their emotional health and their wellness. And it brings me such joy. I just enjoy doing it. So I see a range of women. They come in to talk about relationship issues, whether family or their romantic relationships. Workplace dynamics are often very common, or entrepreneurship, you know, just kind of income, finances, and just kind of, you know, just life, you know, being in the current socio-political climate. You know, people thinking about their goals for the rest of their lives, you know, dealing with empty nesting, you know, death of friends and, you know, loved ones. So, you know, thinking about their legacy, you know, what are they leaving behind? So there are a lot of good things people are thinking about, and some really hard things people are dealing with.
Okay. So how does someone, you know, how can you help folks recognize if or when they might need to see a mental health professional in dealing with any of these issues? Because, like I said, as we get older, women of a certain age, we're dealing with so much, and so much is going on in our lives. But how can we recognize when, you know, it may be time to get some professional help with some of these issues that we're dealing with?
That's an excellent question, and I'm going to answer it, but in a different way than you might expect. So one of the things that I am advocating is for everyone to get like an annual emotional wellness checkup. We do that for physical health, right? We go to our doctors every year. We get that wellness check. And I really think that we also need to include an emotional wellness check as well. And that way, we have an understanding of how we're doing, how we're thinking, our feelings, our relationships, how we're doing inside. And then it gives you a language. Then you're able to easier see when things are getting a little off kilter for you. So that's one thing I would say. But short of that, because insurances don't pay for that right now, that's not part of our language. I am going to advocate for that. But I do think the other thing is really kind of taking stock, really trying to understand the way that you are. What are the things that stress you out? What are the triggers? And what are some thoughts that can be defeating or create self-doubt? And a lot of that is through kind of, self-reflection, thinking of journaling. But I think really having a stock of understanding of, so what is my baseline? How am I, how do I handle stress? When do I know when I'm not handling my stress well, right? When am I noticing like I'm not sleeping or I'm not eating right? Sometimes those are some early signs. You may notice you're not wanting to hang out with your friends, or you're not doing things that you usually do, or you don't feel good doing those things that you usually do. Those are some signs of like, something may not be quite right here.
Okay. Excellent tips. So what are some ways that, maybe we're going through some of these things. Maybe we're not eating right and we're trying to do better, or, we're trying to maybe take better care of ourselves just on a regular basis with that self-care and things of that nature. So how do we know when it rises to the level if that's not working? How do we know when, I've been trying this for a little. I've been, doing better with, my nutrition and things of that nature, but it's just something's just not where it should be.
Yeah, the real key, and for us in the mental health field, when we know that someone is moving beyond the just like, oh, this is, just a bad day, or I'm having a tough week, when it's moved beyond, so we see where you're not able to function, you're not able to do those things, have children, and you have to get them up and get ready for school, and you're not being able to do that, or it's really hard, like, you're finding you're not making it into work, or you're not making it into work on time, or you're taking a few more sick days off than usual. And this goes on for at least 2 weeks, right? So, for us, we're looking for a prolonged, more, it's not just 1 or 2 days where this is it has to be going on for like minimum of a 2-week period of time. Where you're just not able to function in a way that you usually are. So that's a really key sign that we think about. And also, again, like you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not connecting with friends, and maybe not going to church. You're not doing those things that you typically do, things that typically give you joy. You're really not able to do that. People will tell me that they'll come home, they'll kind of make it through the day, but they'll come home and then just spend the rest of the day in bed, crying, just not able to do those things. So I think where it has a significant impact on your life for at least a 2-week period.
Okay. How can we as sister friends support other sister friends that may be going through but may not know how to vocalize or voice that they're struggling? Because part of it is, how can we get to a point to where we stop lying to folks? I mean, you see, people that and when people ask you how you're doing, what's the first thing we say? Oh, I'm good, or I'm fine. How can we get to a point to where we're honest about, I'm not okay right now, or something's not, you know what I mean? How can we be more honest with each other so that we can help each other along this journey?
Right. I love that question because I have some sister circles as well, and I really think it's important, for us, like, how can we break down that facade of having to have everything put together, right? Sometimes we have these fun for our friends, and how can we be honest? I think, there's so much stigma around mental health, and so we feel like something is wrong with us if we have a mental health concern. And so something's going on for us, but that doesn't mean there's something wrong with us. You know, that means like something wrong with our character. I think when we think about mental illness, we think about like it's a defect in our character. And that's really want to. So I think, you know, really, if you're asking somebody how they're doing, really genuinely listen for how they're doing. If you know that person, you know something's not right, you know, I say, you know, you don't sound like yourself. Like, what's really going on? Like, you can talk to me. I'm not going to judge you. I'm just going to listen. Because sometimes we don't have the right things to say, and oftentimes people don't need you to fix it. They just really need someone to listen to what they're going through. If you've been to therapy, I encourage you to talk to your friends about your therapy experience. Let them know when you're going to therapy, what you're learning. So really kind of normalizing that process of going to therapy and seeing it as something that's helpful can get people to say, oh, you go to therapy? Okay, then maybe it's not so bad, right? We kind of normalize it. We remove that stigma around going to therapy. And I think the thing is really just to have compassion. So we're not going to judge people. You know, people have difficult times. You know, I think just saying, I sense there's something wrong. I want you to know I'm here for you. If you know, I've seen a therapist. I'm happy to go with you. I can share you the information about a therapist that has worked. I can go with you to the appointment. You know, whatever you need. I want you to know that I'm here for you, and I want you to know you're not alone in this process.
Excellent. Now, when you say that, one of the other challenges that comes up is, you know, in our community, how do we go about finding therapists or counselors of color that can maybe, you know, they don't know exactly what we're going through, but at least they're aware of the culture and, you know, kind of what we're dealing with and even seeking therapy in the first place.
Right. So, you know, unfortunately, like they are, of all the mental health professionals, people of color mental health professionals represent about 10 on a good day % of all that number. So there are not a lot of us out there. One of the things that I have taken on, I have created a website, www.InnoPsych.com, and that is specifically to help people of color find therapists of color. So it's a directory made up of only therapists of color or people who have significant experience working in communities of color. So that's one thing, because there are a few other websites like that. This one is definitely for the New England area. There are websites like that are geared towards helping people of color find therapists of color. But there are not a lot of us out there. And it is important for us to find each other, and I'm trying to make that easier for people.
So having that being said, can we still, because if there are not that many out there to begin with, those that have insurance or need to use their insurance in order to see a professional, how do they, is it possible for a non-therapist of color to effectively help us in what we're dealing with?
So, yes, as long as they are trained and have experience working with people of color. And you can ask them those questions. I encourage people all the time. There's so many things you can ask somebody before you go see them. And if that's important to you, definitely ask that question. And there are definitely people who are trained who have taken on the charge and understand their own whiteness or their, some of their privilege, and have worked to address that and make sure that they are working effectively across cultures. I think any mental professional needs to think about how they work cross-culturally. I'm a black woman, but if I'm going to work with a Latina woman, I need to understand her experience as well. So we all have to do the work. It's not just for white people. We all have to do the work when we're working cross-culturally. But I think asking that question is like, so you can say, I am this. I am a woman of color, and I want to make sure that I find that the therapist understands my experience. I don't want to come into therapy and have to explain my experience. I have to explain every detail of my experience to you, right? That's time-consuming and frustrating. So you can